Do you trust God? I don't. No, really. I had that shocking realization the other day. I'm like, you know what? I think I don't trust God. I mean, I know the right stuff. I've got all the learning and I know what God says and I know what it means and I know how to say in my head that, well, what God says has to be true. And of course, God has revealed the truth of our faith. And of course, he can neither deceive nor be deceived, as the act of faith tells us. So, sure, God is all truth and all good, and he wants my best, and I can say all those things. But when it comes right down to it, do I really believe that? Well, I had to admit, no. At least I don't always act like it. I mean, I say those things, but then I think, yeah, God said this, but I don't know if he's really got my best interest at heart. I mean, maybe I kind of need to hedge my bets a little bit. Sure, we'll do it God's way when it works, but maybe if it seems like it would be better for me to do it my way, well, maybe I'll do that. And, does God really care about me enough to will the best, even when it seems like this would make me really unhappy to do what God wants? I don't trust God. I don't. And then I realized, well, duh, of course. I mean, that's been our problem from the beginning, so it shouldn't be surprising. In our first reading from today's Mass, we hear how Adam and Eve are in the garden after the creation, and the serpent comes in and talks to Eve. It says, did God really say that you can't eat of any of the trees of the fruit of the garden? Well, that sounds horrible. Why would God put them in a beautiful garden with all these beautiful things and then tell them, but you can't eat of any of the trees in the garden? Well, that's the picture Satan's painting. And of course, that's not what God said. God said, it's just this one tree. And Eve gets it. She's like, yeah, no, God didn't actually say that. It's just this one tree. Did God say? Boy, that's the way Satan comes at us all the time, and that's where doubt gets sown, and that's exactly where we stumble all the time. The problem is, I'm pretty convinced in a lot of times that, well, God did really say. Like, I know what God said. I know the rules. I know the moral law. I just don't trust it. I just don't believe that if I follow it, life will actually turn out for the best. I mean, I know that and I say that and everything, but when it comes right down to some really hard things, I act the other way. I act as if I don't think God has the best plan. And of course, my plans always end up worse and it's a mess and, oh God, you were right. But there's this kind of, I guess, struggle between what we know and how we act, what we actually do. And I guess that shouldn't be surprising. It surprised me. I've never in my life had to say, God, I don't trust you. But I found myself doing that the other day. And then it hit me. If we really just automatically trusted God, well, we wouldn't need to say things like, I trust. If, as we read in the scriptures, if we have the thing that we hope for, well, then that's not hope anymore. We've already got it. So for me to say, I trust God, as if it were just a done thing, well, that would be just like a statement. Perhaps it's actually most difficult and is most actually trust when it doesn't feel right. When everything about us is saying, you know what, I think my way would be better. I think God's got it wrong. I don't think God really cares about me. When we can say all that in our head and then say, you know what, no, that's wrong. I choose to act a certain way. I am going to act as if God is trustworthy, even though maybe I don't feel like it right now. And then it hit me like, I think that's actually trust. That's actually faith. To will ourselves to trust and believe, even when we don't want to, when it's hard. Why put at the bottom of that beautiful divine mercy image, Jesus, I trust in you, if it's just a statement? If we just trusted in Jesus, we wouldn't need to put it at the bottom of the picture. Jesus told St. Faustina, put this at the bottom, because there will be lots of times in life when we need that phrase, and the only time we really need the phrase, Jesus, I trust in you, is when we don't. When we're tempted to say, Jesus, I don't trust you. I don't believe what you're saying is the best for me. I don't know where you're at. Why are you letting bad things happen? Jesus, are you really there? Well, that's when we need that little phrase, Jesus, I trust in you. So, do you trust God? I guess I don't. But then I realize if I choose the will to go on and act as if I trust God, even when I don't feel like it, well, I think that's actually trust. So maybe in the end, I do trust God, and so do you. I hope that helps your day. So go act like you trust in God, and God bless.